Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. So apologies this week, the videos are not going to be up on schedule like I would normally do because I normally start with Aries. I do 6 readings one week and then the other half of the zodiac the second week, and I'm not going to be able to stick to that schedule because I'm poorly. I'm blaming Pluto in retrograde for bringing pestilence to the world, but I'm definitely rocking this kind of like haunted Tim Burton corpse bride look myself. I feel like The Walking Dead. So yeah, I've just got a horrible cold, tested for COVID, and I'm COVID free, but can't taste anything or anything like that. So I'm sorry, I'm gonna sound snuffly. Yeah, it's a whole vibe. I'm also blaming whatever was happening at the end of like especially in Capricorn and Aquarius last week, because they had all this kind of pestilence, death, the vulture energy going on. So the reason why I do actually want to jump on and do I'm saying quick, it's not going to be quick, let's face it, guys. We know what I'm like. But the reason why I wanted to jump on and do a reading today was because I've had a little bit more downtime over the weekend, and it's been a while since I've done a reading. I've got a lot of build-up of intuitive messages, and I'm seeing these paralleled in other people's readings. So I just want to kind of like talk to you about some of the stuff I've been getting through intuitively. It's going to be mostly an intuitive reading. So for those of you who prefer card readings, I'm going to have a little bit of that later on. I'm kind of going to go over some stuff I've pulled off camera, but mostly it's just going to be me talking about weird stuff that I visualize. So if that's not your thing, feel free to go away and wait for the star sign readings, right? Whatever works for you. But like I say, it's definitely collective messages. I'm definitely tapping into something that other readers are tapping into because I'm seeing it in their readings as well. So first of all, I want to talk about what was going on in, I feel like especially Capricorn and Aquarius last week. So they had, let me actually pull the cards, just 1 second, of all the cards I forgot to prepare. Like I paused so I could go through and get them out, and he's right on the bottom looking at me. So the Cobra energy and also the Vulture energy. So the Vulture came out for both Capricorn, there he is, Capricorn and Aquarius last week. And I was getting intuitively this thing about, again, I pulled the reading down because it went really quite dark. It's like this, all this kind of energy, right? Like Death card, just life cycles it was coming through as, you know, how, you know, we've got a bit of a sell by date on our bodies, and eventually, you know, we're going to return to the earth or whatever. And the natural process of decay came through really, really strongly. So I kind of half feel like this is tied into me getting sick. Like it must be Plutonic energy that's hanging around. Pluto is in retrograde, and when it's retrograde, it does bring this kind of stuff up. So definitely feeling that physically as well. But this snake and vulture combo that came out specifically in Capricorn's reading, and it was very uncomfortable for me to talk about on camera as well because it was about decay and things like this. And it came through this energy for me of like a cave, like a really slimy, mossy, swampy cave. So if you imagine stone, when stone's slippery, like when it's like what is it, like algae and just like slippery rock, and not being able to climb out of this. There was like a slope to get out of the cave and I couldn't climb out of it. It was slippy. At the bottom of this cave was, I think I talked about it in the Aquarius reading I didn't put up. I may have briefly mentioned it again, but it was really uncomfortable for me and I didn't want to freak people out. So it was one of those that I was kind of like tiptoeing around. But yeah, I was in this cave and it had this swamp in it. It's like at the bottom there was like a slope and then this swamp. So it was almost like if I tried to get out and I slipped, I was going to go in that swamp. And the swamp was full of like, you know, it was stagnant water. So it's like this smelly, like again, like pestilence. Like if you imagine like frog spawn in there and fly eggs and all kinds of like gross things. So I remember looking like at this, I was kind of a few steps back from it and looking at this swamp and thinking, why am I being shown this swamp? Because I'm one of those like, especially in meditation, I'm like, I face the fear head on, I go into it. So I was like, right, should I dive into the swamp? But like, should I just jump in and see what happens in there? But I got this kind of message of like, no, you shouldn't go in the swamp kind of thing. Or this like, because it was so foul, like this real resistance to going in there. And it felt like in that initial meditation that I had with this cave swamp. There was a woman in it, and she was like, she represents shadow energy for me. And she looked like the girl from The Ring. And I do wonder if anybody's been watching The Ring, you know, like the black bedraggled hair, you know, that kind of thing. So she had that kind of look to her. She kind of like bobbed up out of this swamp and went back down. Like a horrible, you know, that Legend of King Arthur where she like gives him the sword, like that. But instead of being this beautiful lake, it was like this gross swamp. I don't actually know that legend very well. Maybe I need to check that out. Maybe that's what I'm channeling. I don't know what I'm channeling. But this snake and vulture anyway. This combo came up for Capricorn specifically. And then if you want to go and watch Bommy Spirit, so it's B-O-M-I, Bommy Spirit Tarot. She's a brilliant reader, very eloquent, very connected to emotions. A lot of the stuff I get through is very metaphorical and visual, and she's very good at grounding it and making it into something that people may be actually feeling or experiencing. So I watched most of her readings because she's so good, and I watched her earth sign readings, so Taurus, Virgo and Capricorn, right? And these cards came through specifically for Capricorn, not this vulture. It was a vulture from a different deck, and then this one showed itself in Aquarius's reading. But this same energy came, the exact same cards came through in her reading for earth signs. So if you are feeling that energy, if you came from my Capricorn and Aquarius readings and you thought, I'm feeling this, I'm experiencing this, maybe you're also a little bit poorly, go and watch Bommy Spirit, her earth sign reading, especially I guess if you're an earth sign, especially if you're a Capricorn, because it came out really, really strongly. So if you're experiencing that reading may be very, very beneficial for you. That Plutonic energy all over that reading. And it was comforting for me because sometimes as a reader, when I'm picking up on stuff and I don't quite know why, and sometimes it's like, it's very difficult energy, it's stuff that you don't want to talk about, right? I want to be doing like happy, shiny, all the happy people holding hands energy readings, and it wasn't that. But at the same time, it's important to do these readings because people experience difficult things, right? People go through stuff, and sometimes it's really like how Bommy Spirit's reading was cathartic to me, because I was like, this is what I've been picking up on, this has been what's been coming through my meditations and my readings. To have that confirmation outside the self, it's actually really, really reassuring. So please do go and watch that reading if you've been affected by that. So yeah, back to this ring poltergeist woman. So in meditation, because I'm one of those, I'm like, I'm not afraid of a challenge type people. I'm like, what is this swamp? There's a reason this is coming up in my readings. There's a reason it's coming up in meditation. There's a reason it's coming up in other people's readings. I'm not going to back away from this swamp energy. Like the energy was like, don't go in the swamp. But I'm like, face your fears, right? So I'm like, right, woman in the swamp, let's figure this out. There's this thing as well, it came through in Bommy Spirit's reading where she was like, it's unavoidable, like, you know, it's not going away. It's like maybe it could be like difficult emotions, because water tends to represent emotions, and if it's like really murky, stagnant, gross water, that's telling me there's some really gross emotions that need to be worked through, or some really stagnant feelings, or just something that's sat there rotting emotionally. So it's like it's not just going to go away by itself. You have to clean out the cave, right? You have to do something about this. Funny, she was in her air sign reading, she was talking about cleaning the decks, like cleaning the floors, and I'm like, stop calling me out, I don't like cleaning. But it's like, you have to deal with it, right? It's not going away by itself. Yeah, this sliding down energy, it's like I couldn't get out of the cave. I actually like kind of got brought out of the meditation at that point, because it was like I just couldn't get out. So I went back in and I was like, right, we're dealing with this water, and I did it at least twice. So one of the times that I went in, and I was exploring this kind of like ring poltergeist energy. Actually, I think it was in a completely different meditation, but it came back up. And I ended up, when I go into meditation, I kind of go through spaces. So I can go through mirrors or water, a bit like if you watch Doctor Strange, like how she escapes the mirror room. And I was like, that's what I do. Hey, that's me. Or like anything that's like... it's like it's vibrations and it's light and refraction. This is how I move when I'm in meditation. And so I went through a TV set. So I think I was channeling Poltergeist. It's funny because I got The Ring and Poltergeist. So again, I don't know if somebody's been watching these movies, but I find myself, because I go static, and I find myself coming out of the static into a room, right? I came out of a TV set into a room. So I was the ghost. I was the girl from The Ring. But of course, I don't have any ill intent. I'm like, I only come with peace and love, right? So I came out into this room, and I remember the environment. There was like a shiny wooden floor, there was a fireplace, and there was a few things as well environmentally that could be maybe I don't know, I don't want to freak anyone out, but I was seeing like purple kittens, like toys, or like anime kittens. And then this thing about you know, like pop figures. So it kind of had the look of a pop figure, but it had like almost like a cloud. It looked to me like a cat pop figure, but it had like this cloud, like hair, cloud-shaped hair. I kind of was thinking about samurai pizza cats as well, and just because like cartoon cats, right? And then there was something else that was like it looked to me like either like a rocket. It was black and white, and maybe plasticky looking, so it looked like a rocket, or it could have been like a stormtrooper. It had that kind of length and colouring to it, like a plastic stormtrooper. So yeah, I don't know, that's what was in the room. Oh, I should say as well, my daughter's in the background today again. She's saying hi, like poorly, so she's on my computer playing Stardew Valley. Sims now. You're playing Sims now? Yeah. Good choice. So yeah, like I don't know, it just felt very much like that scene in Poltergeist where she's like, they're here, but it was like, I'm here, hi, I have arrived. But again, I couldn't like this energy of me coming in. I encountered this, it was like a cutout, it's like a cardboard cutout of the girl from The Ring, or I don't know, this scary looking creature, right? But it wasn't real. It really emphasized, it came through so many times. Every time I think about it or talk about it, it comes through with, it wasn't real. So it's almost like your 1212 on the timestamp. So it's almost like your fear isn't real. Your fear of this poltergeist, your fear of this negative entity, almost, it's not real. The fear may be real, but the threat isn't real. It was a cardboard cutout, so I completely ignored it. I just carried on looking around the room and kind of exploring the environment, and just I recognized that this thing wasn't a threat, kind of thing. It was like, I'm real, that thing's not real. It was the way it was coming through. So I don't understand quite what it means for everybody. But there was marbles. The cutout kind of fell. It's as soon as I acknowledged it as not being real and I was real, it turned into marbles and it fell down. So there was all marbles everywhere. And this brought me back to something I got through in meditation a while ago. I don't know if somebody thinks they've got a ghost or they think they've got a poltergeist, but I had this thing about, if you've watched The Invisible Man with Elizabeth Moss, not Elizabeth Shue, I get them confused. She puts something down on the floor at one point so that she can see if somebody walks on it, right? So I had this thing about somebody putting like flour or something down in the kitchen and like watching to see if there was anything there. And it kind of reminded me of that, this thing about like the marbles, like seeing if the marbles move or something like that. But I was like, yeah, I'm going to make the marbles move. Like, I'm going to show you I'm here. But it was this really, like, because it was me, right? And I'm so lovely. Like, I only ever come anywhere with peace and love. So I was like lifting the marbles. I was like, I'm going to show you what I can do, kind of thing. So again, I don't know if I'm channeling a ghost or it's like, I don't understand how anything works. But I remember in this meditation, like lifting all the marbles up, like they were all floating like a galaxy, right? With all this pink fuzzy energy. So I'm coming in with this fuzzy energy at the moment, like pink static, like electricity in the air, and moving all these marbles around me. Very much like the little girl from the Poltergeist. Now I look back on it, I didn't get that in the meditation. It's only when I look back on it and I was like, I was the little girl in the Poltergeist. That's kind of what I was channeling, right? But it's like, it was just the whole energy of the whole room was love. It was peace and love and beauty and rose energy. So in this meditation, it's like I was given roses as well. It's like, you know, like if you ever watch like ghost hunting, videos on YouTube, or like Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters, those kind of shows. Sometimes if it's like a nice ghost, they try and give them gifts, especially if they think it's a little girl or like a child. They'll give them toys to play with. So they might, if you thought you had a poltergeist, you might give them marbles, right? It's like, here's I'm nice, I'm not a threat to you. It's that kind of energy. And I was given roses, so I gave back all this like rose love energy, was the way it came through. Yeah. So, what else have I got here? So in this meditation, my notes are really confusing. When I meditate and I'm doing notes, I'm kind of in and out of it. So when I look back on it, I can see how things come through a lot of times. There's something about blue, pink, and purple energy. So if you mix pink and blue, you get purple. So there's this 3 energy or combination energy that's coming through, and I have got a set of readings to talk about this where I got more information from the cards. So it's coming through very, very strongly, and I kept on in my notes, it's just pink, blue, purple, pink, blue, and purple, pink, blue, purple, like so much. So in the meditation, I was definitely coming in with this pink energy. In fact, I was wearing, this came through in Santaro's. So after I'd been getting all this stuff in meditation, I watched Santaro's Gemini reading, and she is talking about the same thing, this pink and blue and purple energy, and it's like iridescent, right? It's like filling the air. It's exactly what I got in meditation over and over again. And so I'm sat there wearing all pink, like the baby pink, watching Santaro's reading, hearing her say what I've been getting through meditation. And I was like, I don't understand what this is, but it's all about colour, and it's all about light, and it's love, and it's like, it's just the air. It's like the air itself is this iridescent, magical quality to it. So it's very, very positive. It's very just light and beautiful and gorgeous, I want to say, whatever this energy is. But again, I got to it going through the swamp, like through the fear, through the repulsion. It's so, I'll come back to that. So blue, pink, and purple seems to be really, really strong. Okay, what else have I got here? I'm just checking kind of like my kind of notes. So the meditations then, this was a separate meditation. Again, I've been going back and forth in and out of it. So when it's like, right, so in this meditation, I found myself behind a waterfall. So similar to this kind of energy, like imagine there's a cave here, and I was like in the cave with this other presence. So I was coming through with pink, and this other energy was coming through with blue, and the combination energy is purple, is the best way I can describe it. Butterflies as well, very, very, very symbolic. Butterflies were coming through in Pisces' reading, and they signify change, and they also signify sorry, I'm trying to get it. So there's some kind of connection being made at the moment with this kind of like swamp or pestilence energy. I was talking in Pisces' reading about butterfly soup. So when a caterpillar goes into the chrysalis, it actually completely breaks down into like this gunk, and then it transforms into the butterfly, right? It comes out of the chrysalis as a butterfly. So it goes through this butterfly soup period. So there's something about the actual swamp being part of a process, like the disgusting part, right? Like me having a cold and like my nose streaming with snot, right? I'm sorry to be so gross, but it's like I don't know, maybe a lot of people are experiencing illness as a way of the universe and the energies making us slow down, right? Making us stop, making us think, making us go into that hermit mode of going within, giving us time to process. So there could be a lot of cleansing going on for a lot of people physically. It's funny, I did with some of my friends as well, one of whom was a Pisces. I did my own reading and their readings as well, and my reading came through with this butterfly energy, and I think Libra got butterfly as well. Did they? I can't remember, but this butterfly came out for me personally. And I remember it physically in my environment, I had the 9 of Wands, which is physically unwell, right? In your actual physical space, the 9 of Wands is physical ill health, and I had the 7 of Swords, which is healing, so in my future position in the physical. So like, yeah, okay, I recognize that I'm sick, I recognize that I need to take a time out, and it's just funny how the cards actually have played out for me. So it's like allowing your body to purge, right? Allowing your body to purge illness, allowing your body to go through a purging process, and recognizing that that's necessary for some reason for you at this time. So again, some people could be experiencing that, but then coming out, right, getting better and coming out and kind of spreading your wings again, maybe with a different outlook because you spent some time resting. There could be something like that going on there with the butterflies. Sorry, that was a bit of a going off on one, but it's where we are. So but you can see again, like, it's funny, I'm wearing red today. I've gone from pink to red, and then we've got this red butterfly and this blue butterfly. So there's something about the reds and the pinks and the blues, right, and the kind of creation of the purple energy. You can see it again in the cards right now. It's coming out constantly. So it's almost like the transformation of these two energies become one and turn into the purple butterfly is the way that I'm reading it in some sort of way. Don't quite understand it, but it's, oh god, it's interesting because there's like golden yellow as well, which, okay, okay, I don't know what it is. We'll come back to it. It'll reveal itself eventually. So back to the meditation. So in this cave, behind this waterfall, there's something about, again, it came through in one of Santaro's readings, and I saw it in a different card. I think, what card was it? I think I was going to buy a deck. I was looking at decks online. No, it was an image. It was, sorry, it was all over the place. I got a cold. I can't help it. Thank you for those of you who stick around this far into the reading with me when I'm talking absolute nonsense. But it's not nonsense, right? It feels like nonsense when I'm saying it, and then it's in other people's readings, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm picking up on the same thing. So I was looking last week when I was doing the thumbnails for the videos at, it was like a patch of grass and trees and a sprinkler, and the light refracting through the spray of the sprinkler was creating this rainbow just in the middle of this garden, like this part, very, very similar to this image, just this rainbow out of nowhere, was the way it seemed. And I remember this card came up in one of Santaro's readings, but I can't remember specifically what it was saying. But yeah, it's like I was behind this, a very similar waterfall in this cave, and these marbles were back, right? And me and this blue energy, me coming through as the pink and the red energy, so I don't know how it resonates for everybody, but I was like throwing, well, we're both, and it could be like the two sides of myself, right? But there was this throwing marbles into different spaces, and like hearing the plop as well, so a very like audible like plop noise every time the marble went into the water. And as it went into the cave and kind of rolled further down the cave, I recognised that this was the cave, right, with the slippery slope and the cesspit at the bottom. And I was throwing the marbles in, and it was like, right, we're going to slide into the cave. So we slid into the cave and we went into the swampy water. But as soon as we were below the surface, it was like there was just a very thin layer of like gunky, snotty, gross, scummy water. It's almost like that was it was like that was off-putting. It was intentionally off-putting, right? Because it was a test, or it was a challenge, like, would you go through it? So it's like as soon as you took the plunge and you went into this boggy water, underneath it was clean, it was beautiful, it was like stunningly beautiful. So hang on, yeah, so I'll go through my notes first. I'll try and do it in order because it's really hard to get everything out into order. So it was really magical, and it was really beautiful, and it was like it was just clean water, right? And very, very deep. It's like it was going down and down and down and down, like a bottom, like a well or something. But it was very like light blue, and with fractions of light coming through. So it was lots of shades of shifting, almost again iridescent blue water, light blue water. Very magical. Yeah, going down. When I pulled a song on the swamp, I got Follow Me by Lange and the Morrigan, which I'll put in the description box below. But it's that, I'm going to sing, I'm sorry guys, it's that follow me to the edge, follow me. So yeah, it's like these two energies plunging into this very cool, refreshing, magical water. So it's like deep cleansing emotions is the way it was coming through. So yeah, to another reading that I did off camera where these cards came out, right? I just kind of show you this card as well, this love energy. This is kind of symbolic of the pink rose, like pink and red rose energy, which was what I was, part of myself, which is what I was bringing to the environment in that initial kind of poltergeist reading, where it was like I was filling the air with this energy. So again, I don't know how people associate. There seems to be a two-way relationship in some sort of way with this third purple character coming in, which I'll kind of get to. So these cards, I had a big reading, but these three cards in particular were next to each other like this and really kind of symbolic of what I was experiencing. So through meditation, right? Through meditation, going into this water, and then going down into, it's like going down into the deep, deep water and meeting this blue character who is the King of Cups, right? He's naturally used to exploring those deeper waters, those deep emotions. It's like his natural, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to admit when I'm not 100% sure, but just if you can see the imagery of these cards, there's actually a person sat here completely immersed in this new environment. It's just coming through like this magical energy, right? It's like going down to see this person, or he's gone down. It's like he's gone down to meet something in this water. So the way this specifically played out for me, completely by chance, well, is anything by chance, but I ended up, while I was poorly, watching My Octopus Teacher, which people have been telling me to watch for the longest time, and I've never been in the mood to watch it, and I finally watched it. And just how like magical the octopus is. So the octopus card for me, again, signifying Capricorn energy for me, which again, getting a lot of just because of Pluto knocking around and doing random stuff. Yeah, so this is, I'm pulling cards off camera here. There's the butterfly that came through for me personally in my reading. And you can see the red and the blue as well. I'm Libra, by the way, so I don't know if that's something that's affecting Libras. I'm just looking for the octopus while I talk about it, just visually for you guys, so you've got something to look at as I'm talking. Right, okay, here we go. So the octopus, and this card does not do this amazing creature in this alien environment justice. So I do recommend you go and watch my Octopus Teacher if you haven't seen it already. Basically, this guy he's got like depression. He doesn't know what to do with his life, and he starts diving and exploring this, you know, foreign alien environment, and he meets this octopus who's like this incredible intuitive creature that the brain is like spread out. I think something like 40% of its brain is actually spread out across its tentacles. So instead of its brain being like the control center, it's like its whole body is this brain with each one of these like little suction things, like having its own independent thought and communicating to the rest of the, it's just incredible. Go and watch it if you like. I did not know octopuses were so fascinating, like, and how clever they are, and how they adapt and how they learn. So it does feel to me like this is just in the cards telling me, oh yeah, we're talking about my Octopus Teacher, like the guy going down and like putting his hand out and the octopus coming down, like, so this is like the octopus to me, like down in the water. The girl is symbolizing the octopus energy, which to me is the pink energy, and like this octopus coming down on, like, resting on his hand at one point. Like visually I was like, this is what the cards were telling me. So there's a few different things that came through with that. My Octopus Teacher, he develops, I mean, he's been depressed, right? So he's emotionally shut down at the beginning of the show. And he, like, through his fascination with this octopus in this different environment, he almost comes out of his own shell in a way where he starts to really form a bond with this fascinating creature who he calls she, which is why I'm saying that the octopus is the pink energy, because I'm being obvious about colours, but it's how the cards are communicating, right? So please just he, she, they, swap it and reverse it as needs be. But it's like she gives him purpose. She gives him purpose, and she actually reintroduces empathy and sympathy into his life, because there's these horrible moments where like she's getting hunted by sharks, and he's in this watcher energy of like desperately emotionally wanting to help her and assist this octopus, but at the same time being a neutral observer and trying to allow, again, this thing about the environment, right? The environment and ecosystems, and understanding that you can't interfere with a delicate environment in that way. So it's like this push-pull between being the observer and being the friend, and should I help or should I hold back? Could be relevant for somebody. But she does. He says at one point she's teaching him about like opening up his feelings again. So yeah, all this stuff that's been coming through about ecosystems and like the fish tank that was coming through last week is back in the cards. This thing about accepting nature, even the harsh bits of nature, which is what the vulture was teaching us about, it's back in the cards, right? It's kind of all there. And this thing about the blue period as well, it seems to keep coming back up. This came through in one of the songs. It was Beautiful by Lana Del Rey, kind of came through as one of the clarifiers. And she says, I can turn blue into something beautiful. I can turn blue into something beautiful. So there's this thing about the combination of these two energies, the pink and the blue. And I want to say there's something mutually beneficial in it, and it's turning into this purple energy. So keep these in mind. Again, look, the vulture is completely surrounded by this purple energy, which is intuition, right? Even this creature here, she has this purple hair. So I don't know if this is, I can't tell if this is a combination of the two, like the pink and the blue make purple, right? Or if this is some kind of third energy coming in. So bear this in mind as I kind of approach the next set of readings. So just to tie up the intuitive readings that I was getting, so after diving down into this like deep water, I found myself coming out back onto my beach. I call it my beach. It's kind of one of my, like the forest, right, and like the cave, it's one of the places that comes up quite often in my meditation. So back on the beach, I kind of came out of the cave. So it's almost like, you know, cave systems, you kind of like, yeah, sometimes you have to go like spelunking, right, and you have to do a bit of diving, and then you come back up into a different cave, and eventually like the cave opened like the Goonies onto the beach, right? So but this beach, the quality of the beach seems to carry messages. So it wasn't like a tropical beach. It was very English seeming beach to me. It was very wet. The sand was damp, and it was kind of overcast, but very beautiful, right? Very beautiful. Again, with this thing about I can turn blue into something beautiful. I can turn darkness into something melancholy and rich and poetic. So, you know, the bitter into the bittersweet kind of thing. Bitter into bittersweet. What did I have about lemons? All these random messages. Where's my phone? Oh, hold on a second. Okay, you just made a weird noise in the background. Sorry, I just stopped to find my phone. So, right, okay, one of the songs that I've got in my, the songs for the description box is Worst of You by Maisie Peters, and it's talking about, just that was really triggering me, not triggering me, it was triggering a memory. So she says, lemon juice your white, I've got a note on my phone, so this is like a screenshot of my own phone. She says, lemon juice your white lies. So this thing that keeps coming through about lemons, are like lemons and sweet, right? Lemons and sugar make something bittersweet, and there's something about things being bittersweet. There's like a book on it that keeps getting advertised to me on Spotify about like, that's like, it's like nostalgia, right? There's this specific human emotion that's very cathartic and very, it's like the sweet spot of human emotion that's not just happiness, it's not just love, it's not, and it's like the sadness mixed with happiness. So like nostalgia, or like when you say something's bittersweet, it's like a certain point that kind of touches on something. So I'm really thinking about like that Lana Del Rey song as well with I'm just flicking back and through my notes. That Lana Del Rey song, where she says, again, one of my screenshots, there would be no blue period, sorry, there would be no blue period. What if someone had asked Picasso not to be sad? What if somebody had asked Picasso not to be sad, never known who he was or the man he would become? There would be no blue period. I can turn blue into something beautiful. So it's, yeah, it just seems to be something about this combination energy. And one of them says something about hands as well. What is it? Maisie Peters, she says, you've got me right in the palm of your hand and you know it. Like you've got me right in the palm of your hand and you know it. So again, this thing about like my octopus teacher, like the octopus comes down into, come on camera, into his hand. I can see a crow. There's a crow on the rooftop. Hello. Hi. I like the crows. He's gone. Okay. Oh, one crow flew off and two others came out of nowhere and followed him. Okay, so sorry, just closing that back up again. So right, I told you I'd be everywhere. This is why the readings aren't going to be going up as much this week, because I just need sleep. Again, my eyes literally look like this. This week is not a good thing. So okay, so damp sand, Dover Beach. So this is another thing that played out for me. So like how I ended up watching my Octopus Teacher, and I was like, that's what the cards were saying. Through meditation, I was getting this Dover Beach, which is a very cool song. And when the marbles were all flying around the room, they were kind of doing this whole double helix thing. And I was watching the first episode of Heartstopper, and the song called Dover Beach played in it, and I remember seeing double helix. I was like, I've been channeling this. This is what I've been channeling. So I don't know, right, back on, right, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. I'm so sorry, guys. Like most people when they're sick would be like, I shouldn't do a video today because I do not know what I'm talking about. But at the same time, I'm like, I will not get rest if I don't get these intuitive messages on camera and if I don't let everybody know what's going on. So whatever. Right, back on Dover Beach then. So there's this thing about a seashell the size of my hand. I was like holding a massive seashell, and like, you know, it was like I don't know if they're like oysters or clam shells, that kind of shape. And it was the size of my hand, and it was this beautiful, like iridescent, pearlescent pink. So again, with this kind of pearlescent, iridescent colouring that keeps coming through repeatedly. And then I looked at the sand, and it had gone from just wet sand to being full of marbles and pearls. It's like just the sand was all of a sudden full of this, not even treasure, but this beauty. It's like everything was more beautiful, like all these pearls and pearls and marbles. So again, pearls are very pearlescent, marbles are kind of iridescent, this beautiful, whatever that analogy was, right? And I was thinking about sea glass as well, so I don't know, maybe somebody's been collecting stuff on beaches. And then like the sun started setting, and again it was quite a cloudy day, but I remember, and this is how the meditation started as well, with this horizon line. So this horizon line came through twice, with the sunset, and with this, it was very, very pink and purple and blue. So again with this colouring, and it was like visually in meditation, it was stunning, and it was just like the emotions that were coming through at this part of the reading were just, it was just like so uplifting and so loving and so magical. Like it's like the whole air, like the whole meditation was full of this just magical, beautiful, like love energy. And then it just got more magical, and like the jellyfish all started like floating around. Like it's like the whole ocean lit up. Like, so it wasn't only the sunset, this beautiful image of the sunset, but the ocean lit up with these like moonlight jellies. I don't know if any of you have ever played Stardew Valley, the moonlight jellies. But it's like all these jellyfish like glowing under the surface of the water in this like magical pink. Like the water's blue, obviously, and the jellyfish are pink, and it was just like, if I wish I could get what's in my brain like visually out to you. But it was just beautiful, and like phosphorus as well, this phosphorus energy. So I also channeled I Only Have Eyes for You repeatedly. So that is what I was getting through meditation. We're over that section. We're done. We're over that section. So if you're going through something like me where, so this pestilence energy is coming through for me as actually having a virus, having a cold, being very, very phlegmy. Maybe you're also going through a phlegmy period. And it's like, it's okay, because once you go through, it's only a short space of time, right? It's only a thin veneer on top of an incredibly beautiful ocean. So it's like you're going to go through it, and it's going to clear, and it's going to be magical, is the message that's coming through. And again, if you've been resisting going through something or going into something emotionally because you're scared, which again, it's like the resistance to the swamp, right? Because it's gross. It's like, I don't want that in my mouth. But then and that kind of Tim Burton-esque, the ring kind of witch being in that water. It's like, it's not real. Like, the witch isn't real, the fear isn't real. Like, once you go into it, you'll see a complete change of, it's like, you know, sometimes like externally something can, like the TARDIS, right? Externally something can look one way, but then you go into it and it's like a completely different realm. It's got that kind of energy to it, except for the TARDIS looks like something that you definitely don't want to go anywhere near. But yeah, and yeah, it's like, it's almost like that's the disguise. That's the, it's the protection, right? It's the protection. Again, if you look at the way the octopus acted, you know, it would look like rocks, or it would look like slippery algae. It's like, it's just the protective surface. But if you actually explore it, it's magical. So I'm going to show you one of the readings that I did off camera that really had this kind of pink and blue energy to it, and just kind of what this was telling me. So this is the way the cards came out. And again, if you watch Santaro's readings, a huge similarity. And again, I'm not setting this up. This is genuinely how it's coming out. And it's reassuring to me when I see big popular readers picking up on the same things that I'm picking up on. But she's been talking about these dragonflies a lot, and this iridescence. She said she had this experience of going into a field and it being full of dragonflies, and like the air just being like shimmering with this kind of purple, pink and blue energy, which is what I was getting in meditation. So it's crazy to me that I was picking up on this same energy, and then she's speaking those words. And, you know, the cards that are coming through for her are also specifically coming through for me with double dragon energy. Look, it's like, it's here and here, dragonfly, and the purple of it. Okay, so we're going into that purple energy. So what these cards seem to be specifically telling me, first of all, we have birds flying different directions is the way it's coming through. So this card clarified by the Six of Air. The Six of Air is about moving on, moving forward, leaving the swamp behind, right? We're leaving the difficult place behind, going in a new direction, at least mentally. So again, it could be like astral projection, going in a different way. So what I really want to specifically point out to you is there's two people on this card. It says karmic relationships, which karmic relationships can be good or bad, or neither, right? It all depends on how we look at it. So karmic relationships are there to trigger things in us and to teach us. So sometimes they can be supportive, sometimes they can be challenging, but it's karmic relationships are soul ties that are designed to help us grow and develop, right? So some of those are like soulmates in the traditional sense of you're the love of my life. Some of them are, you know, it can be an enemy who's particularly triggering for you because they are trying to get you to deal with unresolved issues. But there's this separation that's happening visually with these two people. So you can see this person's in this stream of water where the stream's going in this direction for this person and in this direction for this person. So you can see it in these cards as well. It's quite hard to pick up on camera, but there's kind of a visual here of one stream of air going this way and this person being caught in this cross stream. So it's almost like riptides, right? One person's riptide is going that way, one person's riptide is going this way. They're going in different directions. Birds fly in different directions. So that's an Imagine Dragons, the Dragon's Back, Imagine Dragons song. So it's it's almost like, but I want to go the same way as you, right? So it's almost like this person's got their back turned, this person's off on their own adventure over here on a completely different planet, right? So it's like somebody could feel like they're at a big distance to you. There could be a separation in progress. There could be a almost a longing, at least on this person's half, to be following that other person again. Follow me. But it's like the destiny is taking you in this direction. Now, if you look really, really closely, what this person's actually on the way to encounter is, can you see this here? It's looking to me like a dragon, right? Visually in the cards, this is the way the storytelling's coming through. So it's like this person's almost going to directly encounter this dragon, and it's like the dragon knows, it's like the dragon is coming in to pick this person up, right? It's like they're arriving at the right time to catch this person. It's like they're destined. It's like the dragon knows that this is a destined encounter. It's coming to collect. Again, with the purple energy representing whatever this is, which is Plutonic energy. It's like Pluto, the planet, or whatever that symbolizes, dragons. I recognize this energy. I'm very familiar with this energy. It's one of my guides. It's like it's coming in as a kind of guardian spirit to collect this person. The energy, right, you can see it in the cards. I don't want to scare anyone. It doesn't mean literal death. It could also mean, to me, it comes through as a protective spirit. It is associated with the other side, but it's always there for me when I need it. So if I'm upset or I'm alone, that energy is always there. It comes through as a guardian spirit for me. So very, very similar to this card here. Here it's symbolized as a lion, but for me it's representative of how the energy feels to me. It's not bad, it's not evil. So it's coming in to get this person, right, and to get them in this ship and carry them off wherever it is they're going. But the way it's coming through is like, the dragon's coming through as a helpful spirit that's carrying a message, is delivering something. So this energy here, which feels to me like the energy that I was embodying in meditation with the rose energy, it's like still loving that person, right? Still sending, even though that person's off on their own adventure, it's like still energetically sending them love and light. It's like, I don't know, wishing them well, or trying to connect with them astrally, or putting out these kind of like tentacle feelers to, I've literally got in my notes, let me just, it's like love tendrils or something like that I've written down. Hold on, let's check my original notes. Tendrils around heart, tendrils, delicate vines of feelings, tendrils around hearts. So that's my original notes that I have to rewrite, otherwise it don't make sense to anyone. But that's how it's like putting the energetic feelers out, putting the, like, testing the air, testing the environment. Like, it just feels like this energetically stretching out, but all those tentacles are doing is like bringing love, is the way it's coming through with this kind of like rose energy. So it says the breathing rose, heart healing, emotions, connection, time eases. So there could be something where it's like there's the separation is difficult, but like time, which the messenger of earth is this like time, it takes time energy, right? But again, messenger, so it's like sending out over time, continuing to send that person love is the way it's coming through. And it's like radiating from the heart space. So there's this real, visually in these cards, there's this thing about in the quiet time, in the sleep, in the meditation, in the when you're at ease, right? And look at the imagery of the first card and the third card with like holding a stomach and like I don't know, it's just coming through as like gestating love or radiating love, or meditating to connect with somebody that you've lost perhaps, and whether you've lost them like physically or just situationally, I don't know. But a rose without thorns, you have the right to your joy, peace, sweetness of life. So I don't know as well, it could be like if this is a soulmate connection for you, and it's, you know, when you first met them, you didn't get along, and you know, the universe separated you perhaps because you couldn't be together. You both had separate healing to do. It's like working on your healing, but energetically sending them healing energy as well. There's something about like the body being a temple, because the way that this Tower card's coming through today, and I want to say as well this thing about a rose without thorns, which I feel like I channeled, but it's like every rose has its thorns, but it's like the pink energy, the pink person, who's this person here, the octopus, I want to say, this pink energy doesn't have thorns. It's not going to hurt you. It's all it has is love, right? All it is it's like pure, unconditional, universal love energy, right? It's like pain-free, I want to say. So there's this thing about like the Tower and the Strength energy, like together. This Tower doesn't, even though it is a Tower card in the traditional sense of the tarot, the imagery of this card, it's it doesn't give me Tower energy. It's almost like the Tower at rest, or a healthy tower is the way it comes through, and you can see it's like glowing with light as well. So instead of being like, I mean, it could be, right? It could be when the world falls down, when you face a Tower moment, when the bad things happen and you have a shock, you know, building up that inner strength, like going within, going into hermit mode, resting, meditating, breathing through it, you know, doing breathe, you know, when you have anxiety, learning how to go within and meditate and focus. And again, we've got this focus card here. It's like all the same energy, right? It's strengthening from the inside, strengthening the Tower from the inside. So my daughter looks very, very guilty for making a noise. It's okay, don't worry.
The ring light fell.
So the ring light,
Yeah,
the ring light fell. Talking about the ring, so do you know what the ring is?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So yeah, it's strengthening from within, and it's strengthening from within because you have the ability to, through meditation, to connect with something or someone else, right? It's like you're not alone in there, is the way it's coming through. It's like there's a companion, which to me again is this dragon this dragon energy that I connect with when I'm sad or when I need support. That dragon's there. So yeah, it's like the tower, when you have a Tower moment, the result, the impact it has on the Tower depends on the strength of the Tower itself. So you could talk about illness, right? If you've got a nice strong body, if you are generally healthy, if you exercise and eat well, and you generally take care of yourself, and you've got good I don't know, if you're plenty of vitamin C, they're telling me, which again, dig, probably need more vitamin C. You're probably going to fight off a cold more easily than if you drink all the time and smoke all the time and don't exercise and sit there in your chair all day. No, I don't, not meaning to guilt trip anyone if that's what you're doing, but generally speaking, you're going to fight off illness better if your body's a temple, right? And not overdoing it as well, not making it like your whole life. Virgos, I'm talking about you. But yeah, it's like generally this energy of whatever the Tower represents, whether it's your physical body or if it's it is coming through as the physical body, just because of the other imagery. It's like strengthen your inner, strengthen your soul, strengthen your resilience, strengthen your meditation practice, so that no matter what's going on environmentally, you know, whatever's happening outside of you, internally you're really, really, really strong, right? Because you've got some kind of inner connection. And I just love how it's like the radiating with light. So perhaps holding on to some sort of faith, because this is the faith card, and perhaps being very successful with whatever your faith is. So whatever is going on in terms of your soul, whatever's going on internally for you, finding that spiritual connection, whatever that means to you. So for some of you, it's your connection to God, some of you, it's your connection to your ancestors, some of you, it's your higher self, whatever you want to call it, right? But that connection that you and, I want to say, the blue energy has, but take it and switch it and reverse it if needs be. It's like even even though your planets have moved apart, can you see the two planets here? Even though those two planets have moved apart, even though you are far away from each other, your faith is somehow making that connection strong and successful. So there seems to be something about a message being carried, and it does appear, because here we start to have, because can you see all the pink here, all the blue here, a little bit of gold coming through as well, which seems to be something about the message or the power itself. So in this card, at this point in the reading, we start to see the purple energy, right? Which to me is perhaps a spirit guide or a higher self, or whatever that dragon energy that's coming in here. Can you see like how it's all purple around him? It's like as these two energies separate, the purple energy comes in as some kind of messenger, because it's like it's carrying something. Maybe somebody's carrying a child, right? But it's like it's carrying with the message, and the message itself being this message of love, right, which is symbolic of the pink rose, which the pink energy is trying to send out this message of love, right, coming from within. It's like it's actually, the way it's coming through here is like it's being collected by the dragon. The dragon's carrying maybe this person and the message of love itself. And the message of love itself is symbolized by the gold, right? So you can see all these like hot air balloons. It's like they seem to be the packages, or the little parcels. It's like little parcels or little bundles of love, or the messages that this person's sending out, that the dragon's carrying and delivering. It's like, because here it is. I don't know if this is who this is, because they're both coming through as blue here, but it's like here it is, either collecting one of these messages, these love messages, these love parcels, or delivering it. It's like this seems to be, can you see this purple planet here as well? It seems to be the job of the dragon is to be this kind of perhaps energetic or spiritual go-between between these two energies that have been separated perhaps by circumstances. It's like the dragon seems to be a third energy of almost like a carrier pigeon. It's like it's taking these messages, and then it's like it's coming through like dropping them, so sort of like you see here. So again, this purple dragon, here's the waterfall again in the background, and it's like the ship that's coming through, right, which is coming through as the dragon, because it's of the air, right, it's carrying the messages. It's maybe messages about successfully moving on, messages about successfully healing. I don't know what the messages are exactly, but it's like here it comes in, and it's like almost like dive bombing with the messages. Do you see this? It's like here it is carrying the messages. Do you see? And then here they are kind of falling back down back into the ocean, perhaps you know, being delivered to the blue character who's at the bottom of this water. I don't know, it's like visually really a really cool story. Yeah, so the dragon comes in. It's kind of like there's this image somebody uses on social media of like when they're sending out messages, they have this picture of a plane like firing off like firing off messages, but it's like, you know how in wartime, sometimes planes would fly over quite low and they'd drop like first aid boxes or food parcels or like things that the people needed. It's like aid packages. That's it, aid pack, thank you. It's like it's coming in with these aid packages, which seem to be the messages of love and hope from this person. Because look, it's clarified by love, power, the power of love, right? Power and love here as well. It's like that's the power, that's the hidden power perhaps, is love, and connection. And like I love the imagery here of like waking up and giving the messenger a hug. You know, it's I don't know, it's like rushing to check your mail, rushing to check your DMs, rushing to check your inbox, something like that. I don't know, but it's like here it is, here all of a sudden all the messages get delivered, and it's like they're being received now, is the way it's coming through. But it's actually the person who seems to be receiving the messages seems to be this Queen of Earth energy, again Capricorn. perhaps from Pluto. Pluto's in Capricorn at the moment, but there's something here with, again, this thing about time and progress, because you've got a lot of, this is actually quite a lot of Virgo energy as well. If you look at these cards, it's like this time has passed, and something about during this time, this person has become more capable of receiving the messages. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is because here the crown chakra perhaps, or the antennae is quite small and thin, but here it's really thick and strong, so, and big. So it's like, and there's progression from the night energy, the Knight of Pentacles, into the Queen of Pentacles. So it's like this person's more grounded now, this person's more stable, they're more willing to accept the messages, is the way it's coming through, and to accept the powerful message of love. And it's coming through with this like tapping on the shoulder energy. So if I just show you, because I clarified this further, I was like, I got confused by this, and I was like, explain it to me more. And it was clarified by these three cards here. So I'm going to kind of come back to that in a second, but just I want to kind of show you this imagery of, do you see the white butterfly coming in? Now, it looks like she's moving this way to me. It always looks like she's moving this way, and this energy is almost like encountering her. It's like she's going to walk into this butterfly energy. But if you look closely, she's actually, this is her shoulder here. She's got her back turned to us. Again, going back to here, where it's like this energy's walking away. She's got her back to us. She's got her back to us. And yet this butterfly is kind of tapping her on her shoulder. And what you can also see here is this heart radiation energy. It's a little bit high, but it's like this chakra golden radiating energy with all this gold. Now, if you do shadow work, you get golden energy. So it's like maybe this person's been doing shadow work, but it's like all of a sudden you see all these like flowers, or what they call dandelion clock. It's like they're all blowing around her head. It's like all of a sudden now it's like spirit's tapping her on her shoulder, and she's now receiving all these messages through her crown chakra. So it's like this person's intuition suddenly wakes up. So again, this tapping on the shoulder energy, you can see it here. So it's like this fairy coming in, and then this thing about, like, I always say it's like a lion's paw on this person's shoulder, again with this lion energy. It's like tapping on the shoulder, you see? And then even here, it's like this is the messenger coming in, this fool energy, this little fairy energy. It's like vibrating the air. Like, did you see the vibrations around the flute? It's like, I have a message for you. Wake up, I have a message for you. And this, again, it's like she's being tapped on the shoulder and she's turning around. So there's something about, because the way these two cards came out, this was behind it. Again, it's like the High Priestess. It's like very, very intuitive, aware of patterns, aware of the intuitive messages, aware of the subtleties, aware of what's going on beyond the veil. It's like suddenly this character, their antennae is strong enough to receive these intuitive messages. And there's something about can you see again the like sparkles, all these sparkles in the air? It's like perhaps before they've been very, very grounded, right? Very earthy, very grounded, very practical. Perhaps they've had a lot of practical things to do. Again, the octopus talks to me about being very busy, having a lot of things to do, needing like lots of arms to do all the things that you've got to do. That's the old meaning of the octopus for me. The meaning's kind of changed a little bit now. It always talks to me about being so busy that you have to eat on the go as well. It's like you're just grazing, you're just grabbing things and putting things in your mouth, which is not the most healthy thing for your body. But it's like time has passed. This person's got a handle on the kind of practical side of life with all this earth energy, and now it's time for their intuition to open up. So perhaps they're feeling calmer, perhaps they have been nurturing themselves, because the Queen of Pentacles, she's a nurturer. You know, she's got that self-care going on, and she's at a point where she can care for others. And it's like now this person has progressed in the practical side of life. They are older and wiser, perhaps. They feel more stable with the Tower. It's like now they are in a place where they can receive these, like, it's like love bombing, perhaps, but in a nice way. It's like somebody who's just sending love, right? And it's like intuitively now receiving it, because it's like now they're awake, now they're in High Priestess energy, now they see, right? So it's, again, it could be sensitivity to, again, this thing about like somebody having a poltergeist or something. It's like a good poltergeist though. It's not a scary poltergeist. It's like a friendly spirit. It's like it just wants to play. If you think about, again, like when people encounter these like childlike spirits, it's like they just, you know, they'll roll a marble back to you or something like that. It's like they just, because they are coming through as children. Messenger of Fire and the Fool, it's very, very young energy. It's Aries energy. It's like childish, it's playful, it's curious, it's experimental. So it's like all of a sudden, perhaps, you know, after not looking at these, refusing to see it, refusing to see what's hidden in your environment, like this magical energy that's in your environment, and then all of a sudden waking up to it and seeing it. It's like, again, this thing about the crown chakra lighting up, but it's just love. It's like pure rose energy, so it's beautiful. So I'm gonna pull a few cards to get a little bit more, just so you can see me pulling cards on camera, and we'll kind of see what comes out. I'm just gonna kind of tidy up and get some decks ready, and we'll see what we get. So I'll be back with you in a second. Okay, so card pulling, long reading, but again, I don't know how many readings I'm actually going to get up this week, so this is kind of like a tidying us all over reading. Like, I'm here, I may as well do it. So just generally asking, because there was a lot in that reading, so I'm just going to pull a load of cards. We're going to see what comes out, what kind of energies want to come out, and then we'll have a look at them kind of afterwards. So Cheetah and the Turtle. Okay, so this is a kind of more hiding energy. Again, somebody could be moving home. This could be a very fast moving energy. The crocodile lurking on the bottom there. We'll see what comes out of that. So tell me more about the energies at play here. We've got fire and water so far. There's that Knight of Pentacles again carrying a scythe. Nine of Cups, wish fulfillment. Kind of the frog princess here. That's what's happening there. So again, I'm going to keep pulling cards. We're going to kind of see what happens. Nine of Cups is like making yourself happy, not needing anyone else to solve your problems for you, your emotional problems, but finding the strength and resilience within to figure things out. Right, we're going to get a ton of cards, so bear with me while I pull them all, but I want to do it on camera. The Golden Children, again, that golden energy, inner child, tenderness, innocence, rare gifts. What else, please? What else do we want to know for the rest of the week? Or for, I don't know. I trust my guides, like to sort out time. I don't know. Action. So if you're going through a down phase now, there could be a lot of action coming forwards. Again, notice all this kind of like sparkly, iridescent purple stuff that's coming through with these. Does feel like healing's going on. It feels like maybe people opening up to love. Again, clearing out the gunk, chariot energy. I'm getting fairground energy from that. Yeah. It always makes me think of a carousel. It kind of gives me carousel-like energy, that card. What else, please? What else is going on? 3 cards here. Gravity, East, and the Sun. Again, Santaro, I think I want to say her Cancer reading, I feel, had these 3 cards. Chariot is a Cancerian energy. So there's some, again, do go and watch Santara because she's such a good reader. But there's something a bit specifically symbolic for her about this golden light energy being able to get through in Cancer's reading. So I found that fascinating. Go and check that out, especially if you've got Cancer placements. This gold energy seems to be something. Sophia, divine plan, wisdom, intelligence within, and destiny. Okay, what else do we have? So I will interpret these a little bit. I just want to kind of pull the cards first. Whoa, that is too many. The dragon, toadstools, and guardians of land, protection. I told you the dragon comes through with protection energy. Growth and toadstools. What's here? Flexibility, willow spirit. There's that airship again. Air spirit knowledge. Dragon again. Change. New beginnings. Change and new beginnings. That's interesting. And enlightenment. Let's go again. I can have slightly fewer cards, please, from this deck. Right, thank you. Bluebird, happiness, and see the red and the blue again. Red, pink, and blue. Aspen, Spirit, Courage. Here's the butterflies again. Happiness and Courage. Okay, what next? So I'm using a lot of decks here. I kind of need to list all the decks I use somewhere. Details, details, details. Cleaning house. There's that cleaning the decks energy. Thanks, Bummy Spirit, for that one from her air sign reading. And wide open. That's like make space. That's like clean the house, make space. Be open to things. There's a butterfly coming in again. Be open to change, perhaps. Don't be too detail orientated. Actually, being too detail orientated could cloud your clarity at this time. What else, please? I know there's a lot of cards, guys. Bear with me. I'm really noticing this big gold planet. So it could, like this deer as well that came through with protection just now, but I put that other card away. And Wolverine, fierce, power again. Power, that is so funny. Do you see how the cards do that? I feel like I need to pull that out again. So did you see the dragon card came through with power, and the Spirit Guardian, the spring card, came out with protection? And I put the cards away. This is exactly what I mean about tarot. So this energy, power, right? And protection. And this energy here is here. Look at that. Power. And yeah, see? Power and protection. Like, that is mad. I love how it does that. Love how it does that. Right, okay. So, yeah, that's like fierce protective energy. That is the way that's coming through. And just notice all that gold, especially this. You can see it here, 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 here. It's kind of coming through a little bit. This energy here and here. So it's like the energy now has something about the combination, right? The combination of the blue and the pink, creating the kind of bittersweet energy, or the nostalgic energy, that kind of like making the sadness beautiful, which is a very Cancerian talent. Again, there's so many brilliant Cancerian artists who really understand that bittersweet energy. So like Lana Del Rey is very good at it, that kind of nostalgic beautiful sadness. Billie Eilish is another. Wolf Alice, the lead singer of Wolf Alice. So all these brilliant singers who really tap into the potential, which the potential of the healing potential of sorry, the way it's coming through is like they're showing me like blue swirling water and mixing in the pink. It's like turning the waters purple. It's like bringing the love into the sadness to create a new energy, which feels very golden shadow, right? It feels very healing. If there's a lot of creative potential there, it feels really good. And I'm going to ask as well a message from the fairies. So if you remember those two kind of children coming in to activate that crown chakra on that Queen of Pentacles energy, the fairies have moon energy. Again, very psychic, very high priestess. Surrender to the natural ebb and flow of life. If you're feeling confused, this fairy comes to calm emotions and reassure you that peace of mind is possible. Really beautiful. I love that. And light as well. There's a fairy queen of light there as well, if you want to pause that and have a look at that. And what messages would like to come through from the dragons, please? So what message is coming through from the dragon energy? Divine feminine. Oh my god, it's so beautiful. So beautiful. Like, it's just, it really is. It's like divine feminine, like love and light energy. It's, and like, look at the sun coming through as well. It's so beautiful. So let me have a read of that Divine Feminine card, because that's gorgeous. Like, so this dragon, this protectress, perhaps, this fierce protectress. It's not the dragon from Shrek. It might be the dragon from Shrek. My background information there. Divine Feminine. Have I lost you now? Have I gone too airy fairy? Or are you still into it?
A little bit, to be honest.
A little bit too out there.
Yeah. To be, I just thought that it was the dragon from Shrek.
But she's very loving. She really loves the donkey.
She does. Adorable.
Okay, so Divine Feminine is the smallest dragon I have yet encountered. She appears near the time of the summer solstice and her counterpart Herne, who symbolises the Divine Masculine. She is here to connect you to your divine female energy. She told me, you possess everything you need for your existence on earth. All you need to do is accept and understand it. When we begin to realise that we no longer have to look outside ourselves for answers and approval or feel the need for possessions, we can begin honouring ourselves as spiritual human beings. We are exactly who we need to be and where we need to be at any moment. Divine Feminine brings a sense of acceptance when we find ourselves at a crossroads, and assures us that we have infinite resources to see us through. Once she appears around the solstices or equinoxes, or at times we are coming up to a completion of a cycle, she guides us to keep our faith and stay true to ourselves, following our inner guidance during transitional times. Although Divine Feminine is the smallest of all the dragons, she carries an immense power. Power? Wait, where's it gone? Where's that power card? Love it. Love it. And that is her message to you. It matters not how small you may feel on the inside, all that stuff about building up the strength from the inside, if you remember. It doesn't matter how small you feel on the inside. In truth, you are more powerful than you could ever begin to imagine. This power is deep within you, and you know intuitively what is required of you. It's time to stop playing small and claim your place within the circle of light so that you shine. Others are drawn to you like the sunrise on summer solstice morning, so own it. It is yours. Own it without fear or ego, but with acceptance and grace. She allows us for the first time to acknowledge and touch a feeling of personal power, for she encourages deep trust in the divine, which settles itself comfortably in our being. Like, gorgeous. And that energy is available to everybody, so it doesn't matter how you identify in terms of like gender identity. Divine feminine energy is an aspect of everybody that we can all tap into, and it's coming in with this beautiful like light love or love light, right? Energy. Very, very healing, very golden shadow, very creative, very Cancerian. So again, look at where you've got Cancerian placements in your chart, because the only major arcana that came out is the Chariot card, which is really the Chariot card really is an energy about successfully harnessing your power and both your light and dark side as well, which again leads to golden shadow energy. Cancer is also an energy, just with that divine feminine, of acceptance, of learning. Again, the turtle to me is Cancerian energy as well. It's like riding the emotional waves, going with the flow, working in cycles. So working in cycles of like moon energy. You may find that you're the type of person who you're not very good at working consistently, like 5 days a week. You don't give the same amount of output every single day. You may be the sort of person like it's a load of energy, a load of enthusiasm for 1 week, and then there's another week where you really need to go within and rest, which tends to be a little bit more of a creative energy. People talk about having writer's block, for example, and like furiously writing like into the night when they're kind of in the zone. So you may find that you're one of those people who you have to work with the natural rhythms of your body or the natural rhythms of your own internal clock, rather than perhaps consistently being like, like me this week, I'm not doing my regular scheduling, right? I have to recognize that my body needs to heal. I have to recognize that I need sleep. So I'm just going to kind of do what I intuitively know I need to do for my body. So it's that kind of energy. But yeah, also Cancer, I've got a Cancerian North Node. I think it's my only Cancer placement. And for me, that means I have to open up more to the idea of allowing others to look after me. It's very, very difficult for me to do that. My friends were offering to come and help with my garden the other day, and I was like, I can't accept the offer. I just can't do it. But it's like you're meant to allow people to take care of you. You're meant to accept that your limits. Perhaps you have to accept love, you have to accept help, you have to accept help from the universe. So it's a very receptive kind of allowing people to nurture you energy. which for me, with it being my north node, it doesn't come naturally. Your south node is your comfort zone. Your north node is an area that you have to embrace and get more comfortable with, and it's going to be really liberating for you, a bit like your Lilith placement as well. Lilith placement is Capricorn, which is the opposite of Cancer, so that makes me an exceptionally awkward human being. So yeah, what else have we got in these cards? So courage and happiness, the courage to go for what makes you happy. Divine plan, wisdom, intelligence, design, intelligence within destiny. So this could be talking about intelligent design, right? Or no, that carries a bit, it's a bit of a loaded term. So let's change the way I'm phrasing that. This talks about, you know, a rose knows when to bloom. A seed knows when to grow. There's a right time for everything. It's like, you know, you will know when it's the right time to take action, to move, to do whatever it is. It's like you have that built-in divine feminine, because Sophia is related to divine feminine, right? It's like you're part of that. You have that naturally within you. You'll know, it's like you'll know when to take the reins, you'll know when to take action. I believe Cancer is also a cardinal sign, which is interesting because it's like controlling and allowing at the same time, a bit like a sea, right? Sometimes you can ride a ship on that ocean and steer that ship where you want to go, but sometimes the sea is going to make that decision for you, and you're going to have to go with the tide. So it's understanding the ebb and flow of life, understanding when to resist, when to take the reins, when to take control, when to be in like the divine masculine mode of leadership and action, and the divine feminine mode of allowing things to flow and working with that, right? And the intelligence to know how to do both. Yeah, what else? We have light. So this is talking about the light within, allowing your inner light to shine. East, beginnings, new beginnings, perhaps some of you are moving east, because this is a card about perhaps moving home. This is a card about wish fulfillment. This is a card about doing things, but doing it in a orderly fashion. So taking action, but not doing it in a, interestingly, you've got the cheetah and the Knight of Pentacles. So the cheetah is a very fast card. It's a card of jumping on the chariot and riding it, right? So a card of fast action, fast movement, and yet the Knight of Pentacles is applying the brakes just enough that that's not going to be out of control. The Knight of Pentacles is like, let's do this. It's like we're going downhill. Let's not just take our feet off the pedals and, you know, just crash into the wall at the bottom. It's like, let's apply the brakes so that we're still going down the hill, but we're doing it in a controlled way. And again, this card is about control. It's not letting the horses run wild and drag you off in some unknown direction where, you know, there could be a swamp that you're going to fall into. It's taking the reins and you know, getting those horses to point in the same direction, and you know, having some control over the movement. So there seems to be some kind of message about having a lot of power, knowing how to harness that, knowing how to have the movement that you want in a measured and controlled way, not in a wild, uncontrolled, spontaneous way, perhaps. But courage, details, cleaning house. And then this really just does talk to me about making space. So it could be clearing out old memories, clearing out physically, like your environment, which I always need to do. It's like a never ending story for me. And just, yeah, just making space for change to come in, making space for those new beginnings to come in. It seems to be the message of that. So I hope that was helpful to you. Again, this thing about power. Do you have a couple of things about... There's just a lot of stuff about like light and power, right? And leadership, perhaps there's something, could be something about leadership, but the feminine kind of leadership. Fierceness. It feels like that's something that you're harnessing. That's something that's part of your power, is your fierceness, right? Yeah. Okay. Hope that reading was helpful to everybody. Really, really love that Divine Feminine card. Letting more of that energy into your life, not being resistant to it, making space for it, right? Basking in it, If people want to give you love, allow them to give you love. It's healing for them as well. Just don't take advantage of it, you know. I do hope. So I'm looking at this, it's like it's saying clarify. It's clarity, but it's like it's saying clarify. And I don't know what it wants me to clarify. It's like a message, it's like clarify something. This is very detail orientated. So it's maybe it's something about knowing groundedness, when to be grounded and practical. But again, it's like somebody's been too grounded. Again, going back to that reading that I did that was like the one that I recreated. It's like, to see the... I was talking about the crown chakra, right? And the antlers being like the crown chakra and like receiving, it's like receiving this massive message or this massive download. And then it's like, I always see this as like the butterflies trying to pick this person up. It's like somebody who's been too practical or too grounded or too detail orientated. And it's like, you need to get out of maybe this swamp of detail, like the boggy detail swamp, and maybe move a little bit faster, perhaps. It's like something about getting the balance right, with especially cheetah and turtle. Let's get, oh, I'm going to clarify, I've used like all my decks already. Let's get an archetypes to close out the reading, and then I'm going to stop and then we're done. So wanting to clarify something, and I want to clarify this thing. It's like you already know. It's like this thing almost like coming into land, right? This is like one of those parcels that dragon was dropping, and it's like coming in to rest perfectly on somebody's crown chakra. And it's like kind of that Knight of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, earthy, grounded person, where it's like suddenly like spirit is activating, right? It's like suddenly your spirit animal wakes up. Something like suddenly you realize your own power, the power of the divine feminine within, perhaps. Like suddenly knowing what to do and having the courage to do it. Clarify for me, please. Clarify for me, or for whoever needs to hear this. Cards are being jumpy. Clarify for me, please. Clarify this message. Clarify this message. Clarify this message. Kiss. Eros. Yeah, it's love. Like the message is love. What did I say? Like, I love that. I love when I get clarified by what I was saying. It's like, yes, you were right. It is a message about love. Like, the message is love. Or like, maybe suddenly waking up to divine love. Suddenly waking up to that universal power that's never, it's like always giving. It's always abundant. It's never going to run out. Kind of Ace of Cups, unconditional love energy. It's like the universe, the love that the universe has available is limitless. The amount of love that's just in the air, in the environment for people to tap into is limitless. Okay. Eros or Eros, depending on how you want to pronounce it. Love as desire, eroticism and sensuality. Okay, the cards that I didn't show you. Oh, I mixed them back in. I forgot to show you them. It's like that thing about, you know, the slippery slope and that kind of the ring energy. It was coming through for a moment there as this kind of almost like devil-like temptress. I'm pulling the cards back out. Yeah, this kind of I've been told that that's bad. I've been told that that's the devil. I've been told that that's that thing that's pulling me, that thing that, it doesn't have to be a woman, that thing that's attracting me, that thing that's like a siren calling to you in the deep, like this follow me energy, follow me into the swamp. It's like, am I Odysseus? Is this a siren call? But then it's like as soon as I got in, you know, it's like it looks like a devil, right? It looks like it's almost like the thing that you've always wanted, the thing that's too good to be true, the thing that you are most hungry for, the thing that you are most desiring. It's like, is the devil playing a trick on me here? Is this leading me into a swamp? But it's like it's not. It's I guess like Shrek, like they go to that dragon's castle and it turns out that, like, you know, the donkey and the dragon get married, right?
I just love how solemnly you said that. It's like, just like Shrek.
Just like Shrek, who lives in a swamp, right?
He does.
And then Fiona goes to meet him and it turns out that they love living all the way around, but it turns out she's an ogre too and they both love living in the swamp. Yeah. So it's like, don't be scared of the thing in the swamp that's tempting you. It's actually Shrek. It's, yeah. It's actually Shrek, and Shrek is beautiful. Through Eros, though Eros can be depicted as unbridled sexuality and eroticism, and again, there's a reason why we feel desire. It's part of us as human beings, so that we can create life, right? It's part of our superpower, and so don't feel like you shouldn't be attracted to people. Like, being a sexual person is wrong. It's divine feminine knows that it's right, right? You know, it's how you use it, it's how you implement it, it's how you engage with that energy. Everything is just energy at the end of the day, and sexual desire and temptation and eroticism can be very, very healthy. Though Eros can be depicted as unbridled sexuality and eroticism, a more contemplative understanding of this archetypal energy leads us to the root of desire itself. What do we long for? Why are we awakened by love? What makes us hesitate in the face of intimacy? Eros reconnects us with the primal longing to merge with another human being, which is what I've been talking about the entirety of this reading. Nature, music, art, plants, food, or anything that we perceive we are separate from. And it doesn't have to be a sexual relationship. Just like with my Octopus Teacher, like the guy who was going through his own blue period, he went down, he met this octopus that he was absolutely, like, almost obsessively fascinated by, right? He just wanted to keep going and spending more time with that octopus and learning from it, and learning about her, and it ultimately was incredibly healing for him. So it was a two-way relationship, and it doesn't have to be a sexual relationship with another human being. It can just be something that you are obsessively fascinated by, something that you feel is opening up your soul in some sort of way. So it could be music, right? It could be food, I don't know. Our heart embraces otherness, and in doing so we further understand our own, right? Like how this was an alien environment for him. The octopus was an alien creature. Our life force awakens. This card reveals an inevitable initiation into love's labyrinth. I told you it was love. You may find yourself swirling in a new territory of desire and sensuality. Explore the labyrinth with a curious and honest heart. And remember, right, actually, you know what you need to do, right? You don't have to do anything the cards are telling you. You don't have to engage with anyone that you don't want to engage with. You can choose for yourself what you want to engage with and what you don't want to engage with, right? You can set those boundaries for yourself. Just a reminder. Remember, though, that the way is circuitous. You are always being led towards its center. When light, passion, playfulness, and sexual health. When dark, madness, projection, and obsession. Go deeper. Love Sonnet number 11 by Pablo Neruda. Basket of Figs by Ellen Bass. The Hindu goddess Lalita, she who plays, can help activate Eros energy. She is also known as Kameshvari, Empress of Desire. So it's not talking about anything with children, right? Which is clearly illegal and not appropriate. But it's talking about people who bring out a playfulness, people who bring out that kind of childlike curiosity and playful, adventurous, explorative spirit within you. So it's those kind of relationships. Again, going back to my Octopus Teacher, that kind of, he was very curious. They were kind of quite playful with each other, kind of figuring each other out. So it's okay to allow that energy into your life. And again, like looking at the the Queen of Pentacles who turned into the High Priestess because her crown chakra opened up, right? It was activated by that very playful fairy-like energy, kind of tapping her on her shoulder. And we had the Fool and the Page of Fire, or the Messenger of Fire, who are these very childlike, spontaneous Aries energy of playfulness. So it's like, again, I was talking about like the playful ghost, right? Rolling the marbles. It's a playful spirit, not I just want to make clear that I'm not talking about anything that's this, inappropriate. Okay. And Plato reminds us that Eros can be experienced as platonic love. It is activated when we witness beauty and truth in the world, when our barriers soften. So very, very, I mean, Eros is the child of Venus Aphrodite. So very much that kind of rose mother, love, like beauty energy that we've been talking about quite a bit in the readings there as well. So I don't know, maybe somebody's getting a diamond. But the diamond as well, a lot of you will already know, talks to me about the diamond's soul, the diamond hole, the diamond soul, the diamond soul is somebody who's, well, we all have a diamond soul. It's having the clarity of who we are on the inside and having that strength, and being a complicated, multifaceted person. The diamond soul is kind of like golden shadow for me. It's really understanding the different, how your experiences have created the different facets of your personality, and shining a light through that and recognizing the whole. So yeah, I don't. Lovely end to the reading. It's an hour and 35 minutes. It's going to take me forever to upload, but again, maybe don't expect too many readings from me this week. We will see. I always say that and then I do double the amount of readings because I'm an idiot. But I'm going to leave it there. Do take care of yourselves and I will see you again soon. Bye, friends.